morning. Today, I'm gonna show you how to make a piano R&B melody from scratch for an artist like Bryson Tiller. Let's get into it. So when it comes to using a piano in an R&B melody, a lot of times I don't like to go too soft like how I would with something like a pain beat or like a more ambient beat. For this one, right, I want to go more for a harsher sound, not too harsh, but like a little bit more hard on a piano tone, right? And pretty much here's what the piano sounded like. So it kind of sounds a little bit more, I guess, analog or kind of old school, and that's what I was going for, like that more nostalgic vibe, right? So for the piano melody, we get this. So yeah, it's a very nice piano melody for real, right? So before I get into how I made it, first let's go over the effects. So we got an EQ, and I've been doing this with a lot of my pianos recently because they all seem to have the same problem, and that's this little area right there. Like there's like a big boominess in it, and it just like sounds muddy. So I'll be taking that out. So we got that. Then we got a delay, something very clean, very simple. Just the delay on the 8. And then the volume turned down, like not too much, but just something that's kind of subtle. Then we got ROM for some reverb, of course. So with no effects, it sounds like this. Then with effects, yeah, that's definitely more the vibe that I'm going for. So looking at this melody, it might look a little bit complex, which it is, okay? So I'm joking, it's not, right? But anyway, so I'm literally just using 3 chords, and then just chopping up the notes and the chords to get like a little pattern going to it, then adding on a little top line and a bass line, right? So first we got an F sharp major chord, which is this chord right here, F sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. We got that, okay? So then you can see that I literally keep the top 2 notes in the chord. I keep that like literally the same thing all the way through for the most part. The only thing that changed was this D sharp right here, so I'll drop this down by 2 steps, F to a D sharp, then I went up to an F, and then back down to a D sharp. So these chords right here is pretty much just the same except for the bass note, and then right here I change it up, so now we're at a G sharp major chord. So G sharp, C, and D sharp, this chord right here. We got those 3 chords, right? But then for the last part, instead of having a G sharp major chord, I push this up to an A, so that it's gonna sound almost kind of harsh on the ears, but it does sound pretty good because it's the harmonic scale in A sharp minor. So you're gonna see how that sounds pretty much. But so I started out with those chords, and then, as I said, I love to go in and chop the notes up. So you can see how I just hi-ya, 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 hi-ya. I just chop the notes in some random parts, and pretty much you just like want to play with it until you get something that sounds right to your ears. Obviously sometimes you might chop a note and like you might chop it right here and it might just not sound right, so you just can undo it and then find a different spot. Usually you'll find something that can work though. Like this method works like 95% of the time, I'm not gonna lie. So we got that. Then like I said, when it comes to adding top lines, a cheat code that I love to do is just to add like octaves from the chords. So this little thing right here, pretty much I'll just grab like a random note. So I start with the A sharp, and then I'll just choose like a note like D sharp, right? Then I'll go up even more, like some more steps, and then up even more, all the way till we get to 2 octaves up from A sharp. Then after that, it's just about using your ears to build the rest of the top line. So I went with these notes right here, G sharp, F sharp, and F. And then for this one, so pretty much it's still going up, in an octave, but it's added a little bit of a grace note right here just to make it sound more jazzier. Then after that, it's just adding more notes in the chords to give it a fuller sound. So, you know, first I started off with an F sharp major chord, but then I added on an F just to make it a, like I said, a more full chord. Then we got, you know, F and D sharp right here. And then same thing with the bottom notes. Like, even though these are bass notes, you still add it in to make the notes be fuller. So, you know, we got the bass notes right here. So yeah, it's pretty easy once you break it down into Legos. So obviously there's no rules to it, but for me, I started with the chords first, then I added little chops, you know, in the chords to give it a little bit of a little subtle pattern to it. Then third, like I said, I go up in the octaves just to see, like, pretty much this part I just experiment and see what sounds good by going up in the scale. We got that. And then next is by making the chords be fuller. So I go ahead and just add extra notes on top of the chords or notes at the bottom of the chords just to see what sounds right. And then after that, just add it on your finishing touches. So you might want to have like a little bit of a piano riff to it. If you're good at playing piano, go ahead and add a little riff to it, and all that good stuff. And yeah, so that's pretty much how I made this melody. So a lot of the times for me, once I make the melody, it's smooth sailing for real. So because you know me, I love to layer. That's all I do for real. So I got this electric piano out of Analog Lab. It's called the EP New York City, and literally, like I said, I copied the exact same melody. It sounds like this. So as I said before, with adding in notes to a chord to make it sound fuller, also when you layer with different sounds, it's gonna make it sound a lot more full too. So you know that's kind of what we want, right? I mean, that's what I want. Do you want that? If you don't, then stop watching the video. Actually, keep on watching. Actually, you know, yeah, if you're watching this, go ahead and leave a like, by the way, too. All right, so we got a magic switch for some chorus, which I love to use chorus on my rows all the time. Then we got an EQ, of course, because gotta give it the same treatment as a piano, because it can also be a little bit more muddy in the low end. So then we layer again, of course. Like, what you thought this was? All right, so we layer again. We go in Analog Lab and we grab a pad this time. You know, we got the piano, the Rhodes, and the pad. Okay, and this is what the pad sounds like. So yeah, when it comes to pads, I don't always layer the main sound exactly all the time. That's because with pads, they have a slower attack and are often played longer. So them little short notes not gonna be caught in the pad. So pretty much I just get rid of pretty much I just get rid of those notes because we don't need it. Okay. And yeah, so we got this right here for the pad. And this one, it's the EQ again, you know, the same thing for the muddiness and some of the low end. Next, we layer again. Like, come on now, man, what you thought this was, bro? Like, it's all that I'm gonna do. It's a cheat code for real. So I love to use arpeggios and different melodies for real, especially R&B. But yeah, so we got this arpeggio wave inside of Analog Lab, and I copied the same pattern from the pad, so there's not gonna be any of that high stuff, just like the regular chords. And this is what it sounds like. Yeah, like me, I don't even smoke, but I feel like that I'm like high right now when I listen to that pad for real. Like, it's just so fire. And the fact that like you can hear how it like kind of like has like a little low pass EQ that's like kind of like it's like kind of doing that a little bit. Like, that's why I love that a lot, because it's like changing throughout the measure pretty much. So I got that. For that one, I have on a phone line EQ, so it's gonna sound more muffled in its frequencies. And then a ROM for some reverb, because I like rhyme a lot. Okay, so yeah, pretty much we literally just got 4 sounds just with one melody. For real, I could be done for real, but you know me, I'm not gonna do that. So let's go on to the violin or the string section, because I love to use this trick a lot with different melodies. So I got BBC Symphony Orchestra, and I got it on, I think, the cello preset, the cello, and I just play out these chords that I got from the original melody. So I guess you can like still say that it's layering, just taking a lot of stuff out, but for real, like I said, it's just the chords played sparingly. So here's what these sound like. So for a good amount of my R&B melodies, I'll play a violin when a clap hits, or just at different parts of the melody, but not having it play all the way through, because I like to have like the strings to be like a little bit of a accent / ear candy for my melody, if that makes sense. For that one, just surround, of course, for some reverb. Got that pan too. You got some of the other stuff pan to make some more space in it. Then we got a lead, because sometimes you gotta have a lead in the R&B melody. So we got this lead, big hall preset, and analog lab. You get, bro, literally, I got analog lab like 5 times for real. So if you don't got analog lab, I don't know what you're doing. You're missing out for real. But yeah, so I played out this lead, and this looks pretty complicated. It kind of is, because like this one I played it out on my keyboard by hand. So that's why I was like that. But yeah, sounds like this. So yeah, that's a lot for real. What I'm gonna say is that when you're trying to get like leads in your melodies, I think that it's very good to start playing it by hand, even if you're bad. Like, just at least practice it, because the more that you do it, the more that it's gonna sound even more natural in the melody. For this one, I messed up a good amount of times, but what made it easier is by knowing my scales. Like, I'm pretty good at knowing what's in the scale, so I can play that on my piano. Now, I'm not the best with knowing what each note sounds like off the top of my head, but I'll just literally go around like and just play random notes until I get something that sounds good. And I didn't do too much editing, because I wanted it to sound kind of realistic. So even if I did mess up, if it sounds like a good mess up, then I'm gonna keep it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but yeah, you want it to sound still, as human as possible. We don't do that AI over here. Then of course, we got to get my favorite bass out of Analog Lab. We got this bass home preset, and this, it's not much to explain, just the bass notes from the chords. That's what it sounds like. Then I like to add in different textures and accents in my melodies. So first we got a perk loop from this producer ground drum kit, and it sounds like this. So that's what it sounds like with the effects on. But for effects, I don't want a halftime, a reverb, and then some EQ to make it sound more muffled. So without effects, it sounds like this. Yeah, calm down. So with effects, that sounds good for real. Then we got a transition, which I love to use in my melodies a lot. We got that. And then we got a little string accent, which kind of acts as a transition, but still, like I said, some ear candy. Got to add this producer grind cadence thing, which I'm not gonna lie, a lot of my accents and transitions that I use in my melodies come from the producer grind cadence drum kit. So if you don't have that, it's free. Go get it. It's fire. You're not gonna regret it. It's called the producer grind cadence kit. Okay. So yeah. Just got some delay on that and some ROM. So yeah, the full melody we get this. So yeah, that's the melody right there. Like I said, if I could be for somebody like a Bryson Tiller, or it kind of gave me a little bit of a like Leon Thomas type vibe in the piano, for real, for real. But yeah, besides that, let me know who else you see on this melody. But you know, if you're still watching this, type in the comments like some low-key fire R&B artists. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of my R&B stuff, it's not American. A lot of it's like European and French and all that good stuff. So yeah, if you know any like fire American R&B artists that I might not know of, go ahead, type it in the comments. Or not, for not even just America, like it can be from anywhere. Just let me know. But yeah. Hopefully you enjoyed that, learned something from it. If you did, go ahead, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next, and follow on Instagram, all that good stuff, and drink your water too. Yeah. That's about it. So, peace.